On April 30th, 2000, the MS World Discoverer sank in Roderick Bay in the Solomon Islands. How did this happen? Who was responsible? And what was the outcome? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the story of the MS World Discoverer. Welcome to Critical Navigation. I am your host Aedan, and today we're going to be taking a look at the story of the MS World Discoverer, a story about a ship that sank over 20 years ago. The MS World Discoverer was launched on December 8th, 1973 in a German shipyard. The ship was 287 feet long and had a beam of 50 feet. It had 7 decks and could hold 137 passengers and 80 crew members. Soon after it was built, the ship was sold to a company called Baywa Cruises and renamed to the Baywa Discoverer. 3 years later, in 1976, she was sold again to a company called Adventure Cruises Inc. She was renamed back to the World Discoverer and was now registered in Singapore. She now made chartered cruises for the next 11 years. She was sold in 1987 to Society Exploration Cruises, and in 1990 the hull of the ship was modified to withstand small ice collisions. This meant that the ship could be used in the Arctic seas. In 1996, the ship went through a major restoration process to make her look pretty awesome. Despite the ship's small size, it was still rather beautiful. The ship had 7 decks and 76 cabins for the passengers. The ship had a lounge, library, and even a pool. There was even an observation deck at the top of the ship for passengers to see the sights. The ship also had a couple small dinghies to bring people on and off shore. The World Discoverer had traveled in Antarctica and southern Chile for a good majority of the 90s until April 30th, 2000, when things had gone downhill for the World Discoverer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the sinking of the MS World Discoverer. It all began on April 30th, 2000, when the World Discoverer was traveling the Solomon Islands, which are around 1,100 miles from Australia. The ship was traveling through a passage between 2 islands, when at 4 p.m. the ship had struck some underwater rocks when all of a sudden the ship had begun sinking. Since the ship was close to the shore, the captain had ordered for the ship to be moved from their current position. A distress signal had been sent out and a ferry was sent out to go and help with the situation. In an attempt to save the ship, the captain had ordered the ship to go into Roderick Bay to ground the ship so that it might be salvageable if things had gone wrong. Luckily, no one was hurt and everyone was evacuated off of the ship. The ship had been listing and now rested on the shore of Roderick Bay. The ship had been deemed a total loss and was now stuck in the bay. Even though the ship had been deemed a total loss, there was actually quite a few attempts to save the ship, however none of them worked. The ship was now scheduled to be dry docked and scrapped, however nothing happened. After the ship had sank, the ship's crew had been commended for their actions and everyone was okay. After the ship had sank, the ship began to deteriorate and everything on the inside of the ship was taken by the locals on the island. All that was left of the MS World Discoverer was the empty shell of the once incredible ship, and as now, the ship still sits in Roderick Bay with no hope. In 2002, Society Expeditions had filed bankruptcy and the ship now had no owner, so the World Discoverer was not a problem for Society Explorations. The locals of the island had pleaded for the ship to be moved, but nothing has been done. The ship is now beginning to fade away, but since it is not affected by any heavy waves like some of the other ships we've looked at, it will probably stay there for many, many years to come. And that, my friends, was the story of the MS World Discoverer. Thank you all for watching today's video, and please consider subscribing, and we will see you all next time. Of course, if you want to check out my channel, it is Xtreme Dubstep, and you will most likely see a comment from me on this video. And I am your host, Aedan, signing out.